charity stuff?
All about it.
Because I've never heard anything about it before.
Well, we started doing stickers on our website, and we wanted to do something involving charity. So we started out letting people add $3 to their order for each sticker, and that would go to, with our operator symbol stickers, it would go to the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation. And on the other sticker that is based off of a character Troy draws on his Tumblr called Dog Dog, they would go to the PetSmart charities. And while we did get a good response from it, we wanted to give more. So we thought, let's try to make something exclusive that is completely dedicated to charity, so there is no option. Basically force people to donate if they want the thing. So Troy had the idea for those little rubber gummy bracelet things, like the Live Strong, and it just says "Everything is fine," which is the last line of our series. And now that goes towards the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, and we've gotten an incredible response to that.
We sold plenty of them here.
Yeah.
Even
we also, during the whole ice bucket challenge thing, we didn't really want to get wet.
Yeah.
So rather than cover ourselves in ice water, we decided to auction off the a jacket and shirt that my character Alex wears at the very end of the series and had been wearing for some time, with 100% of it going to the ALS Foundation. And I can't remember the exact number. It was over $600.
I think it was $620 it sold for.
And then, so that was an incredible response. We were like, hey, if we get a couple $100, that'd be great. We've also done the charity auction here at GMX for the past few years. I think last year, between charity lunch we did and selling one of the masks from the series, we raised
one of the masks from the series, and then one of the scripts we used.
We raised over $500 during that, and then the year before we had done not as big of a number, but we had still, I can't remember the numbers from that year. But,
yeah, I can't remember. But
it
has grown each year.
It is we've got the bug now, so we were actively looking to expand it with new ideas and stuff. The next thing we're looking at is those little like die cut pins to bring back the PetSmart charities, because we're big animal lovers. I am wearing a shirt.
In case you can't tell.
I am wearing a shirt that literally just says dogs over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Dogs. And the proceeds from this shirt actually went towards the Humane Society. So yeah, double whammy. Yeah. We're very philanthropic.
Yeah.
It's a passion.
I want to ask, one thing I really like about the Marble Hornets series is just how creepy it is. I feel like it.
You guys are real weirdos.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah. I feel like you guys have done something that a lot of big budget movies just fail to do year after year. What do you guys think it is about projects like Marble Hornets and other horror genre-related things that are scary versus these big budget films we see every day? They're just not cutting the cake, you know?
Well, those big budget films have to answer to a lot of producers too.
That have a lot of different ideas about what they think other people's ideas will be on what is scary. So
everyone I've ever talked to, even in smaller budget films, has just said, making a movie is too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing. When we're doing it, it's
literally just the three of us.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes it feels like we have too many ideas happening at once, and we have to pick one. So I can definitely see how that would get out of control for something like that. I mean, we have a movie being made right now based on Marble Hornets out in Hollywood, or I say being made, but it's been shot and everything.
It's in the last stages of post now.
Yeah, and even then, just hearing some things from people about that, it's having to please all these different types of people with it. It's crazy, but that's probably why that's something that
worked on a year getting reshoots for it.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
We are significantly more flexible.
I guess so.
Again, because we don't answer to anyone but ourselves, which is nice.
Yeah, I guess it's just.
But it also means you don't have someone over you telling you that's a bad idea if it does slip by us.
But in terms of why it's better than those things, if you say so, I don't know. We get asked that question a lot. I'm just like,
we still haven't really figured out.
It's weird because we're
good
not really
answer for
big
that.
horror aficionados either.
Yeah.
Like I don't watch scary stuff. I'm a big baby. I like comedies and
things like that. Everything but horror, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's like we don't really like horror movies. Let's make something scary that I would like instead.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe a lot of other people agreed with that about what we thought was spooky.
Also because I guess since we got to do it in little episodic chunks and stuff, we never really felt the need. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes we did, but the pace could be a lot different than what you would find in a movie because we got to spread our scares out over a cumulative 9.5 hours instead of 90 minutes. So maybe it's a little pacing too. I don't know. That's
could be any one of those things.
If we cracked the formula, we could make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we just lightning struck and people liked it.
Traveling con to con, up and down, the southeast, the east coast, you guys have got to have some sort of crazy story where some crazy fan, crazy stalker showed up at your door, after hours or something, or anything, or
Tim almost hit a guy.
That specifically has never actually happened. That guy wasn't a fan. He was just some dude.
We would never throw any of our fans under the bus.
Yeah.
Of course, they've never given us a reason to.
Yeah. No.
That
no
is
one...
a con story you should tell right this second, though.
Some dude in a Jack Sparrow costume was saying a bunch of gross stuff, and then also
one of our fans.
Yeah,
we will stand up for our fans.
To one of our fans / friends, and then just grabbed my ass really hard. And I was drunk enough that for some reason I chewed him out in a fake New Jersey accent that I normally don't really use, except as a joke.
Yeah, the funniest part about it is that accent, the origins of it is because we're dumb and...
Yeah. I more or less chewed him out as a comedy character that I've never actually used for anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got pretty close to. I didn't hit him, but I kind of wanted to.
Do you care if we swear?
No.
Okay. Well, you never know. I want to make sure because there was a lot of language.
Yeah.
I want to hear it in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear the accent.
I just kept telling him to walk the fuck away.
Like,
And he was like, no, let me explain myself. And I went, all right, explain yourself, and then walk the fuck away.
Walk the fuck away.
It was a weird night.
It was
If you
odd.
don't walk away, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you right now. And, we had been in the bar for a while, so I wasn't completely sober, and it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. I actually, fell over and was collapsed on a chair because I was laughing so hard, and that just made Tim angrier.
just for a little bit, because I still had the adrenaline pumping by the time I was done. He was like, "Shut up!"
He thought I was laughing at him, but no, it's
Because I looked over at you and you legitimately looked like you were about to asphyxiate. I look over and I just see.
So let that be a warning to all of you out there. Don't mess with our fans.
Don't touch Tim's ass. Or any of our asses, really. But
we know what happens when you touch one of our asses. That's probably the weirdest thing that's happened, other than on that exact same trip on the way to one of the airports. One of the engines had problems. We had to do a U-turn in a plane.
Yeah, because we had missed our flight from Birmingham to, I think it was Detroit or something like that. It doesn't matter because we missed it. So we had to catch another plane to Dallas, and then we were going to Ohio. And after we missed our flight, we were walking to the gate to the one we did catch, or like, haha, like watch that plane we were just on like crash or something, or the one we were on crash, and that didn't happen. But when we were going from Dallas to the next point, we had to turn around and within the first 15 minutes or so.
It was like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we were in
because
the
they
air.
lost oil pressure on one of the engines, and they had to get a new plane. So
I've never been in a plane that pulled a U-turn before, but it was a very.
it is interesting.
And that was actually on our way to the con that I almost beat that guy
That's
up
what I
at.
said. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a weird con.
Yeah.
Weird stuff happened.
We're just leaving some bottle caps here for the next person.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
How long have you guys been doing the Marble Hornets, and how did you guys connect to get it started?
Well, we
June 2009 was when we started. So.
Yeah, we wrapped up on June 20th of this year on the 5-year anniversary of starting or posting the first video.
Yeah.
I guess technically it's one day older than that because, well, no, we did post on the same night that we started. Okay, so yeah, 5 years. Do either of you guys want a root beer?
Yeah.
No. I don't like the root beer ones.
Do you want the strawberry?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
It's cherry, man.
Sorry.
Troy and I have known each other since 6th grade, drawing comics and stuff in our science class. We made our first skit there too.
Yeah.
So he called me up that summer asking if I was doing anything, and of course I wasn't. I hadn't been in school for a while, and I was just working part-time at a used video game store. I'm like, okay, yeah, this sounds cool.
Yeah.
Him and Troy met in the college.
Yeah, we were introduced through a mutual friend who I'd known since 8th grade, who was also in Marble Hornets. His name is Brian, and he plays the character Brian as well. And you guys were in the same theater class,
Like
I
beginning
think?
acting class.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
And yeah, so I think we like met outside the campus diner or something one day.
Yeah.
And then,
And Tim
for
was
some
like-
reason, I gave you the impression that I'd be good at acting, even though you'd never actually seen me do it. And you were just kind of like, would you be interested in helping out on this at any point? And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure. And then I think it was about a month later was my first appearance.
Yeah.
It was entry number 9 was the first
I think
one.
so, yeah.
And it just kind of snowballed ever since.
Yeah. Good thing you said yes to that.
Yeah.
As I guess even though we are done filming after 5 years, we still aren't done with Marble Hornets because we had the Kickstarter for our 3rd season launch. So we just finished getting those DVDs together, or Tim did, and now we have to do the box set and the Blu-ray and everything. So still working on it.
It's like everyone says Marble Hornets is over, and we're just like,
For who?
For who? Yeah. It's like for us, it's still going on. We're still working on it. But once
It was
that's
a blast,
done,
but I'm glad that
we can move
that
on
it's
to
almost
new
done.
things. So, doing something like that for 5 years it's a while
Yeah.
to do one thing. So we're glad we can move on to.
Especially since our Google Doc list of all these other ideas that we have is not getting any shorter.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's really easy to burn out. Like
We never
that.
really got any serious burnout. Just
There's a reason we split it up into seasons, though. It was
Yeah.
to specifically
Combat
keep
that.
ourselves from just never doing it anymore.
yeah.
So if you guys, the ideas that you guys have for the projects, like you mentioned earlier, you guys are into comedy. Are you going to like pursue something like that as a different genre, or would it be, keeping up the?
We're planning on doing 2 separate series right now. Like, who knows if that'll change or whatever. But right now, we're planning on doing 2 separate series after Marble Hornets is done. We're going to do one that is definitely going to be a less serious thing, and then another one that's going to be kind of in a similar style to Marble Hornets. It's not going to be Marble Hornets 2 or anything like that. It's
Once we finish sending out all the Kickstarter stuff, we'll probably take like a week off and then start doing some storyboarding on that.
Yeah.
Because right now it's still in a conceptual stage.
it's very vague right now, but we're
Which is industry talk for we have no idea what we're doing. It exists out there in the ether.
Yeah, you're just gonna pluck it out from the creative ether that floats above our heads.
The less serious series is something we've been talking about for a long time, and it's actually evolved through several forms.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure we have the final version decided upon.
But who knows? We've said that before.
We've said that before. It all started with a detective story. It no longer involves any detective work at all.
Not at all.
It's actually really weird that that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be able to talk about that
Yeah.
in more depth once it's actually happening.
Yeah.
I know you guys just finished up with your Kickstarter. With the advent of Kickstarter, Indiegogo, projects like that, where you're able to get your name out there without the backing of Hollywood, without the backing of big name corporations or whatever, do you think that you guys are going to be a good success story for in the future? And do you think you'll be able to do more Kickstarter projects, or do you think you'll have to move to Hollywood and do your show and your?
God, I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
It really just
I
kind of
certainly
depends
hope
what
we're a
happens, I
success
guess.
story.
Yeah.
I hope we aren't one of the news bits about like the people that just cut and run and everything.
Yeah.
That would be bad. So if we do that,
Sorry.
it's your fault.
You just gave us the idea.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I made a design.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we be considered a success story. I mean, we did succeed fairly well over what we thought we would get, because our initial goal was 8,000 to get the season 3 DVDs made and everything, and then we ended up getting, after fees and everything was done, we got about $6,800
Yeah.
or $1,000.
A lot of people backed out.
Yeah. We ended up getting about that much, so we're able to put more behind making these DVDs and Blu-rays and everything, and then a portion of that is going into the next series that we're making too. So
Yeah, that was actually the last stretch goal at 70,000. Was basically it fully funds, and it basically means we don't have to do another Kickstarter for the next series if we want to go bigger with it.
yeah, we are kicking the idea around of looking into Patreon or something like that at some point.
Maybe as a way to take off ads from YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
Because those crowdfunding websites are really great. I hope we never have to just outright rely on them, because if we really wanted to, we could have made the season 3 DVDs without the Kickstarter. But it acted. I think I actually said this, or we said this in the block yesterday about how it acted kind of as a pre-order mechanism for us, which was nice. It also lets you gauge interest, so there are a lot of benefits. You know, it certainly would have been less work if we had just done it ourselves. Not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, although if we doing the Kickstarter or doing the season 3 DVDs with the Kickstarter meant that we wouldn't owe anybody
Any money? Yeah.
anybody, like if we had to borrow some to cover the printing costs or whatever. So, and that made it so that we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, Kickstarter doesn't have interest rates on it, so
I don't foresee. I will never say never, I guess. But I don't foresee us having to move out to LA to, air quotes, make it. Because we've gotten this far living in Alabama. The internet makes the world a much smaller place.
Yeah.
So
we've been to LA once. We didn't like it.
Yeah, we weren't fans. Yeah. Of course, it seems like a lot of people, even the ones that live out there, aren't fans. So
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep moving there.
I just feel like it's something you have to do. I don't know.
It's like you have all these other places, New York, Nashville, Atlanta, burgeoning film communities. Just go there. It's so much easier.
No, if you move to LA, you automatically make it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not an overcrowded place full of other people that want to make it.
Yeah.
At all. That's not what happens at all.
Like going to Nashville for country music.
Yeah. If you want to make it in the music industry, you have to live in Nashville.
Yep.
It's true.
It's absolutely right. You can't be successful anywhere else.
That's right.
With the film that's with Doug Jones that you guys mentioned, the video games, all this merchandise that is using the Slender Man story. How involved were you guys in like any of those projects, like the film? I know you guys were there at some point.
Yeah, when I say we went to LA one time, it was for that.
Now it's the operator.
It's the operator.
Slender Man is a separate thing. The only Slenderman related thing that we had anything to do with was Slender the Arrival, the game, where we did story work on that, and just the initial release, not any of the expansions or anything they've added since then, and even some stuff that was initially released with it.
Yeah,
too.
it was. Yeah, we had some involvement with the video game and everything. We talked to the people that were making it and everything. We're still pretty good friends with the director of it. Mark Hadley being the director of it, and as far as the movie goes, it is based on Marble Hornets. They have the filming rights for that to make a movie out of that. So we've read the script for it and everything. We show a clip from it every con we go to now, including this one. We showed it last night, and other than that. And, obviously our own series, we haven't really had much to do with anything else.
Really. We've intentionally kind of kept ourselves secluded from the other things because the way we wrote Marble Hornets didn't really have any room for crossover or anything like that.
Yeah.
Our story is already complicated enough without having to collaborate with another set of people.
Well, part of that was just because by the time a lot of that other stuff came around, we'd already finished the first season. So it was like, well, we're already pretty deep in those by now.
Yeah.
So the other series that are out there, we haven't had anything to do other than maybe a passing influence, and not direct either. Just they liked our thing.
Yeah, we've talked to them before and stuff, but we're
not. I wouldn't presume that we had too much of a heavy influence on it, though. I think it was just people saw the character Slenderman and the operator and thought it was really neat, so they wanted to try their hand at it.
How did you build your fan base? How did you go about doing that?
It kind of builds itself.
Yeah, it's completely word of mouth. We had one, I won't say ill-fated attempt at advertising. It felt dirty, and it didn't. I don't know how effective it was. It felt like, why are we going to spend money on this when it's growing organically?
Yeah.
But other than that one instance, where I think it was like the whole run was like maybe $500.
Yeah.
Worth of advertising on the internet, so it's like nothing. It's all been word of mouth. We are incredibly lucky that our fans are very passionate and they love getting other people involved in it. I've been told to intentionally mess with their friends. I'd like to think it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how it just kind of built itself like that. Like not many. Well, I wouldn't say not many, but I would say most big things kind of build themselves like that, I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't know. With big things get like movie trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a kind of.
Or they're established brands. We kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think the word of mouth fit us a lot just based on the tone of the series and everything. The found footage. When we started, the only found footage out there really was Blair Witch Project, because we started about a month before anyone knew what Paranormal Activity was. Like, we certainly hadn't heard of it down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
They started their media blitz about a month after we posted our first entry or so, if even, maybe not even that long. I don't know. We were first.
We were first.
So, with the found footage, never even acknowledging in the series at all that it's not real. The word of mouth, like, hey, have you seen this really weird thing on YouTube? Have you seen? You want to see something weird?
You want to see something weird I found on the internet?
We still occasionally get people like messaging us, like, dude, I thought this was real. I thought this was real. And like they just started watching too. It's not like someone from the early days. It's like with all the thousands of views on the videos, they're like, oh dude, this is real. Why don't they call the police?
If you post this on YouTube, probably about half of the comments are going to be angry that it's not real.
He tricked us into thinking this was real.
It's
like we didn't.
You're telling me Godzilla isn't real?
What?
What?
But see, that's disturbing too, because it's like there's some pretty horrific stuff that happens in this show. It's like, do you really want that to be real?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be more like, man, I'm really glad.
Yeah, I'm really glad that's
Okay.
not real.
Yeah. I'm glad all three of you are okay.
So Marble Hornets has made their movie, their next project's on the line. You guys are famous. You now have the ability to purchase whatever dream car that you want.
Oh, God,
Which one
okay.
of you, what is your
More hypothetical.
More hypothetical questions.
Yes.
Dream car? Man.
Van, truck, 18-wheeler, whatever, vehicle of motor.
One of those Google self-driving cars, so I don't have
Yeah.
to drive it.
Yeah.
Because I would love nothing more than to be able to sleep on the ride home. But
That'd be great.
yeah.
From here home.
Yeah.
A 3-hour nap.
Yeah. 3-hour nap while my car drives itself. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Basically, from 4th grade through like even after high school, my dream car was a Dodge Viper, navy blue with white racing stripes. But now that I'm older, I have, you know, just I'm like, as long as it gets good gas mileage.
Yeah.
So a Tesla, we'll go with a Tesla.
Yeah.
But I'll splurge. I'll get one of the fully loaded ones. Yeah.
I don't know if he
Heated seats again.
If
Yeah.
he said money wasn't an option, like who would care if it got good gas mileage?
I'm still environmentally.
Okay.
Because he'd still have to stop and fill up
Yeah.
all the time, and that's, you know,
Yeah.
the less times you got to stop.
No,
the
we would
better.
do. What would be the best thing to do would be to get a sweet RV, and then we could
One of
drive
those
it
like
around the
$2 million
clock. Yeah,
ones.
they have like vaulted ceilings.
Oh, and we
stuff.
could hire a driver so we could still sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just a bus. Shit. Or, yeah.
No.
No, the
Winnebago.
RV is way nicer.
RV, a really sweet RV.
Yeah.
Like that I saw some like Yahoo video of talking about the luxury RVs, and they were talking about Will Smith has a 2-story one.
They make those for the country stars right down the road.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
What?
be here for an extra day, you can probably
Yeah,
go to the place and get 'em.
yeah. So give us our unlimited money, so we can. We can even like put the THAC logo on the
Yeah,
sign.
hell
and
yes.
And our faces. It'll be like the NFL game or college game day trucks with like
Yeah.
the announcers on it. Like,
Yeah.
except
We're here to
us.
talk football. Yeah.
We're here to talk about the internet.
Yeah.
Or when I was 5 years old, my dream job was to be a cement truck driver, so maybe I'd get a cement truck instead.
There you go.
Nice.
Live the
I
dream.
aimed high. I was aiming high.
Yeah. That's what my brother wanted to be when he was a kid. Was a garbage truck man.
Oh, yeah?
That's what
They
he
get
said.
to
Why
ride
did
on
he
the
give
back
up
of
on
the
his?
truck.
Why did he
That's
give up
awesome.
on his dream?
Because he's a loser.
Yeah. Now he writes for some magazines.
Yeah. Who cares? He could have been picking up trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's making the trash.
What? Jeez.
I was thinking in terms of like people throw away the paper, but then I realized as I was saying it, oh.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry, Neil.
Sweet RV. So that's
Yeah,
what we
sweet
want,
RV.
So we could
A
drive to all the
Tesla
cons.
RV.
Yeah.
A self-driving Tesla RV.
No, we could have like a butler that drives us,
Well, we could still have a butler. He just wouldn't drive.
like Giles or something.
Yeah.
Giles.
No Giles.
Giles?
Like
What if
Giles.
he's named Giles, but we just call him Giles all the time? Every time he comes into the thing, we have it play. He has to wear a bracelet that has a little code on it, and when he walks through the threshold of the RV, Giles theme plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. So yes.
Yes.
That was the best answer we've given, I think.
Yeah. This is why they have us do D&D.
Yeah.
We just keep rambling.
Yeah.
We can fill up that 2-hour block.
Yeah.
The Trender Man,
Mhm.
not Slender Man. Are you guys familiar with that at all?
Yes, we've met the guy, the Trender Man. He's dressed all nice.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
up at Kineticon we met. I don't know if he originated it, but there was this cosplayer that does it, and every year it's him and his 3 friends. They dress up basically as various puns on the Slender Man and always get pictures with us. And they come up with some pretty good ones.
That Trinder Man, they had one that was a doctor, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a doctor, but I don't know what the pun was.
I want to say they did a Blender Man,
Maybe.
with like a chef outfit or something.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, yeah.
We're familiar with memes.
Yeah.
We
We
can
got
say
to-
we know a thing or two about memes.
Splendor Man,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Emmy Ciceriga that she did. We got to meet them at Kineticon 2 years ago. and got to express how much we liked that video.
While one of those guys was also dressed as Splendor Man, so
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
a big group photo.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
We follow each other on Twitter.
Yeah. We're like this.
we're good.
She's way funnier than us.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was just wanted to get
Okay.
up on that.
Yes.
So, Slender Man's been mentioned on the news a lot
Mhm.
in the past. My kids actually, I've been hearing about Slender Man for a few years. Honestly, I've never seen it, but I'm gonna have to now.
You should.
But did that get you a lot more?
We had a lot of people and news outlets contact us asking for comment. We didn't
For like a day.
because they found my grandparents' phone number, called them. I think this was CNN that did this.
Yeah.
Found my grandparents' number, which is really easy because my last name is Delage, and there's like 200 Delages in the entire world. But they called my grandparents and got my number, and then called me and like, hey, and I just asked them, how did you get this number? And they're like, oh, we talked to your father, grandfather. I'm like, don't ever do that again. We're not giving comment because one, it wasn't us. We didn't do
Yeah.
anything. So we didn't feel comfortable commenting on it, and we also
Didn't want any
Yeah.
kind of publicity from that at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, even though they say no publicity is bad publicity, it's like we don't want to benefit in any way from that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we weren't comfortable commenting, and like I said, it's nobody's fault.
It's not, definitely not ours.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
We-
I thought that was blown out of proportion.
We definitely got an outpouring of support from the fan base,
That's kind of where it was going.
which was interesting too because we had maintained radio silence. I don't know. It's nice that they cared enough to make sure we didn't take it personally, but
We mentioned it on our podcast once, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
yeah, that's honestly
Basically saying what
Yeah.
he just said.
right here is probably the most we've ever talked about it.
Yeah.
Which is to say, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, talk about it as in saying, here's why we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Okay.
The distortion effect, and this is on the technical, like editing aspect of it, but what was the process you guys did to get that like messed up footage look in Marble Hornets?
Troy did all of that.
I'm the editor of it. Process was mostly started from trying to break the software in some way or another. We originally edited on a like consumer version of Sony Vegas, which is not super great, so it was easy to break.
Right.
So we would break it, or I would break it, and get that crazy audio distortion and everything, and then basically kind of learned as I went on how to break it in different ways, and eventually I graduated to Adobe, Adobe,
Adobe.
Adobe
You know, from
Premiere.
adobe.ca.
Yeah.
It's a legit site.
On Adobe Premiere.
I graduated to Adobe Premiere, and then most of season 3 of Marble Hornets was edited on Premiere Pro CS 5.5, and now we do.
I think all but the very first one in season 3 was
Yeah.
Premiere.
Yeah, and then now we use CC, all that stuff that Adobe's doing. So I found out different ways to get those distortion effects on that too and everything. It's kind of, especially on the To The Arc videos, it was almost like editing improv, in that I knew something that I wanted it to say, overarching, like what I wanted it to be, and then I would just start playing with it and try to find a weird way to say a certain thing with it. It was very weird way of going about it, but I never had a set idea most of the time exactly what it was going to look like. So I kind of
Wing it.
poked at it until I thought it looked good.
Well, it seemed like once you switched to Premiere, you had more options and more things you were able to do. So I think once you switched to that from Movie Studio Platinum, I feel like you got more experimental with the different ways you could do.
Because there was a bunch of more options.
Yeah,
how
it's
to
just
do it.
like in seasons 1 and 2, for the most part, it's like subtle things like the screen tearing or like the light static or whatever, and then it seems like around season 3, around that transition point, is where we get a lot of the really cool and elaborate video statics and things.
Because Premiere was way more capable of that.
The scene tearing in the early ones was actually a stylistic choice because we wanted it to be subtle, and then we're just kind of like, okay, this is
when it's not subtle. It was still subtle at other times, but especially in season 3, we're like, well, there needs to be a big in-your-face moments here. So we just piled on the effects.
I just meant that it was less the limitations of the editing software and those early things, and more this then. Also, this jerk had the audacity to be basically deaf in one ear for a majority of the series, and we would keep on hounding him for turn the static down. You are going to cause permanent damage to our listeners.
I barely hear it.
It's it's fun and everything, and then he gets his surgery and fixes his ear finally after being so lazy, and he finally comes on and is like, I'm sorry. It's yeah, it is, but so good job.
When I was redoing the season 1 DVDs, when I was having to re-render all the videos and stuff, it came time for that one, and I was like, should I turn the volume down a little? I was like, nah, let it go.
They know what's coming by now.
Preserve the original experience as much as possible.
Break people's speakers and stuff with it.
Yep.
Whoops. Kind of send a waiver with it that you have to sign and send back to us. You're not responsible for any of your any damages caused by this.
So is everything available on your website?
Yes, this is on thac.tv.
THAC. On Joseph's 3DS here, .tv. We have a storefront there that we use. Also, I think it used to be on marblehornetsdvd.com, but now that's just set up to redirect to our new storefront because we fairly recently took back control of all of our merchandise. So now we're in charge of it now instead of a third-party person being involved with it because we have more time to devote to it now. So we just kind of wanted to be in charge of it completely, so we wouldn't have to worry about any kind of middleman. So down there, the dealer room and everything, we're selling our own stuff.
The only thing that we have here that's not available on the store is the 3rd season, which we got at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Before we came here.
And we want to get all the Kickstarter stuff sorted out before we put that up for
the people that pledge to the Kickstarter get their season 3 DVD first. So once those are all sent out, the season 3 DVD will be available on the.
Unless they come to the con, in which case it's kind of a thank you for coming and seeing us in person.
Thanks for giving money to the convention and coming to see us in person. And you can, But hopefully it won't take too long to get all the Kickstarter stuff sent out, and then once that's done,
we have so many packing supplies sent to us. We all 3 of our apartments are going to be filled with
just boxes.
Stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so once we get back from this convention, we're probably going to start sending out the people that got the DVD pledge amounts. So those will be going out pretty soon, and then we'll work our way through everything else after that. And then after that, they'll be on our online store for good whenever they're ready. After that.
All right. Any other questions? Anything else? I guess that's our time.
Okay.
All right.
We greatly appreciate you coming back up here a second time.
Thanks for wanting to talk to us. Thanks for listening to us ramble. Talk about robot RV stuff.